Ordinary people are becoming millionaires, and you can too. Look, we're currently living in a time where there are more millionaires right now than there has ever been before, which can only mean one thing. Well, I mean, it can mean a couple of things, but to me, it means that there is so much opportunity because of the tools that we have at our advantage, the technology that we have available to us, the different methods that we have available to make money, right? And even if you look back at the podcast episodes that I've done before on this podcast, you'll be able to see a consistent theme with all the people that I have talked to, even the episodes I've done with myself as well, speaking to you guys directly in terms of helping you to come along your journey. And because I'm ending season 1 of this podcast, I wanted to give a little bit of a summary of what we've spoken about so far, and I thought this would be the perfect way to do it because I've seen these 5 key things that all of my guests have in common in order to be able to reach their extraordinary level of success coming from an ordinary place or being an ordinary person. For example, Laura, she's currently running a $4 billion going on $5 billion empire, and she's been able to go from being a farm girl singer to a rocket to a CEO to a part owner of this empire. What? Also, even if you take in Nabil, for example, Nabil, 22 years old, was making hundreds of thousands in a month from cryptocurrency. Nicholas, somebody who I spoke to recently, he's doing hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands in a month. And he came from being a 16-year-old in Germany who just wanted to learn how to trade. Now he's not even doing something similar to that. Look, there are so many, like all of these examples, all of these people that have been on my podcast so far, they all started off as ordinary people. Me, I started off as a C-grade student. All of these people, all of them have this thing in common. They all started off as being ordinary. And this is what they've done to be able to achieve the success that they have. So number 1, build a boring business that makes bread. Now, bread is a colloquial term that we use in the UK for cash or for money, right? So build a boring business that makes money. So if we look at Kofi, for example, he's been able to build an SEO business that is essentially a cash cow for him and is essentially a results generator for his clients, and he's doing very, very well off it. If we look at Nicholas, for example, he's been able to build an empire off of Instagram theme pages, guys, and shout outs and mentorship and coaching and stuff like that. It's not super glamorous. All right. Okay. That's enough. Okay, that's enough, bro. You done? Thank you. Look, these people focus on what works, not necessarily what is trendy. I feel like there are so many different shiny objects, and as entrepreneurs and as go-getters, we're always seeing these shiny objects that are available, like do this new method of an agency, do this new method of coaching, do this new method, do that new method, do this, that. Always chasing the shiny objects. And if there's one thing that I've learned through all of the people that I've spoken to so far, and even in my own journey personally as well, is that we have to make sure that we are staying absolutely aligned. Focus broken down is follow one course until successful. That is it. And one thing I've realized as well in my journey, and even reflecting in their journeys too, is when you start to put your blinders on and when you start to actually really lock in and focus on one thing, that thing has to work. Like it has to work, or it has to work, because all you're doing is thinking about one thing. So when you're out for a walk, these ideas will start coming to you, but they will start coming to you because that's the only thing you think about. If you're giving your 100% attention to something, what else, like what space is there to think about anything else? It's all going to come back to that one thing you're focusing on. So trying to do like 5 different things at the same time is not going to work for you. Well, it might work, but it won't work effectively, and you'll be run through the ground. The best way to scale from what I'm seeing is to focus. Number 2, be brutal with your no. That no should guard your energy. That no should guard your peace. That no should guard your focus. That no should guard your plan. That no should guard your business. And what do I mean by this? I'm going to tell you what I mean by this. What I mean by this is that no should stop anything that doesn't align with you getting in the way of where it is that you're trying to go. Because you are literally holding yourself back. Okay. Do you want to do another one? Okay, thank you. Saying no to something that isn't aligned with you will make space for saying yes to the things that are aligned with you and to the things that are going to take you in the right direction, to the things that will change your life and will change the lives of others as well, and will allow you to grow your business. They will benefit. But when you take the unaligned route, what do you think you're gonna be? You're gonna be unaligned, all right? 3, they didn't stay invisible even though they may have wanted to. So even if you take Lara, for example, someone who came onto the podcast recently, she built $1 million, well, multi-million dollar now, I believe, personal brand. And she has been able to do that from being in a place where she was embarrassed to even post herself, right? But she understood that she had to put herself out there in order to be seen, and in order to be seen by the right people. Even if you look at Kofi, right? So if you watch that episode, then you'll understand that he built an SEO agency and he doesn't really do much outreach. But guess what? He is still visible to the right people. He's been able to make himself visible by doing good quality work, right? Whatever way you can make yourself visible, whether it's social media, whether it's referral networks, whether it's by doing great quality work for great clients, right? Whether it's writing blog posts, whatever it is, do that thing to get recognition, to get awareness, right? Attention is absolute currency these days. Why do you think that Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok, all of these places are doing so much and putting so much effort into trying to keep your attention? If attention isn't valuable, attention is so valuable. It's one of the most valuable assets that you have. And this even ties back to a previous point, the one where I was speaking about focus, because that is all about where you're directing your attention. And you only have a certain amount of attention throughout the day. Do you realize at the end of the day, like you're kind of all over the place sometimes, or not even necessarily all over the place physically, but mentally? Like you're thinking, oh, your attention's everywhere. It's not super focused. Very quick interruption. Make sure that you are writing notes. And when you write those notes, drop them below. I want to see your thoughts on this episode. Speak soon. But in the morning when you wake up, even if we look at males' hormonal cycles, right? Yes, men, we have hormonal cycles, right? Our testosterone is the highest in the morning, okay? And even, to be honest, I think this works across the board for humans, right? Of course, women, they have a 30-day hormonal cycle, but we're not going to get into all of that. This is not a science lesson, okay? But we need to take advantage of when our body operates its best and how our body operates its best, right? And that's usually in the morning or earlier on in the day, where your attention is the highest, where you have the most energy. Use that time effectively. But I digress. I say all of that to say that you can't win if nobody knows that you exist. 4, they got into rooms and they got around people that were ahead of them. Now, this is the same for Nicholas. He paid mentors. He paid one mentor 100 grand. He paid for one mentorship 100 grand, right? And I've heard of $1 million mentorships and all that good stuff. But this is the first time I've met somebody who just paid somebody 100 grand in one go for mentorship. Go check that out on the episode. It was Ty Lopez, right, that he paid. And yeah, he kind of explained it on that episode too. But people are paying a lot of money to be around the right people. They're doing a lot of extra, what would be deemed as extra stuff to make them extraordinary, right? Extra stuff to be able to get around these people who are ahead of them. Same thing with Fred. I think, did he pay to get around his mentor? I think he paid to get around his mentor as well. That was enabled him to even speak in America and charge higher fees for his speaking as well, and potentially even led him to going on a national TV show as well. Even Nabil moved out to Dubai to be around the right people. Maybe it wasn't a specific person in particular, I can't remember, but I know he moved out to Dubai to be around, well, for multiple reasons, but one of the reasons were to be around like-minded people, because he understands how important it is. And actually, he pays to be at masterminds as well. I've seen him at a few masterminds too, and I've invited him to my mastermind, which will be coming up at the end of the year or the beginning of 2026. We'll see how it goes. Make sure you follow me on Instagram to get more information about that. At IMJONATHANREID, at I'm Jonathan Reed, okay? Now, elevation a lot of the time comes from proximity. Now, when I'm around a group of people that tend to think a certain way, I tend to think that certain way too. Even in Proverbs, it talks about walk with the wise and become wise, because the companion of fools suffers harm, I believe, right? And we have to really listen to that verse, because if you walk with the people who are switched on, if you walk with the people who've got energy, if you walk with the people that are doing all the right things, even in the places and in the position that you'd like to be in, you will become like those people. It says it here in the word, right? I'm pointing at my laptop, but I mean the Bible, because I've got the Bible on my laptop, right? It means when you walk with those people, you will become like those people. Walk with the wise and become wise. And the second part, for a companion of fools suffers harm. Ask yourself, how many fools am I surrounding myself with? How many? Because if you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you will be the 6th. But the first part of that verse is walk with the wise and become wise. So if you count those 5 people and they're all wise, you will likely be the 6th as well. Really pay attention to who you're surrounding yourself with, because that is a big determiner for where you're going to end up. And number 5 is rest. Making sure that you are getting adequate rest. Not even adequate rest, good rest. When I say good rest, good with a capital G, right? Making sure that you are sleeping enough, making sure that you are going to bed at a good time, waking up at a good time, taking time off, right? Resting between your work blocks as well, because we are not machines. And even if you look at machines, you will see that machines can't even run 24/7 without any maintenance. They need oiling, they need maintenance, they need updates, right? Machines can't run 24/7. So how do you think that you could run 24/7? Please tell me. I would love to know. And imagine this, further than humans, further than machines. Let's talk about God. Now, if God made the world in 6 days, he could have just done it like this. Think about it. God could have made the world like this. Snap of a finger. World, make yourself. Done. The world's made. But he decided to take his time with it and do it across 6 days and take a rest on the 7th. Now, if God is resting, why do we think that we don't need it? I'm talking to myself here. Can I get an amen? I feel like I'm in church right now. We have to learn how to rest, because if we don't learn how to rest, we will keep failing that test. And I don't even know what that means. I just wanted to say it because it rhymed. But if we don't learn how to rest, big trouble. That's what that means, big trouble. Now implement these 5 things into your life and I'm sure that you will be on your way to success. Thank you. We'll speak soon in season 2. Peace.